Hello everybody, my name's Hocus Pocus and welcome back to the Minecraft Let's Play. This is episode 45 of the series, and right now I'm just getting a few things prepared for the episode. We are going to need some torches for today most likely, so let me go ahead and craft those up. We'll use the sticks in our inventory to get that going, there we go, and then we'll craft a few more just to make sure that we've got enough sticks to use in the future. That should be fine. Away goes our wood. And today we are going to be working again on the sheep farm. So I'm going to actually take over my Silk Touch pickaxe because I want to be using that to harvest regular stone if possible, because it's very useful to us at the moment in terms of the blocks that we are using to build with. So off we go over to the sheep farm as I just mentioned. There we go. And I just want to make sure that by the end of today's episode we've got every single cell set up, so we should have a total of 16 at the end of the episode. At the moment we have 8. So first things first, I guess, is to start digging the walls out here. The first wall has almost been completed just after I finished cleaning out these last few blocks. And there we go. Okay, so as I was saying, this side of the farm is now spacious enough to fit in 4 more cells, so that's good. But of course, that isn't the only side of the farm that needs upgrading, so it's probably about time that we move on to the next side and replicate the same type of work. So the entire room is now dug out, which is great to see, and I'm very relieved because digging isn't the most interesting or fun of tasks, so it's good to see that you have the majority of the digging for the episode out of the way. So I'm very pleased about that. Whilst I've got you here though, let's go deposit a few of our materials just so that we can just so that you can really get an update of how things are looking over at the storage systems, because of course I usually dump everything from each episode into the chests and you guys don't really see that. So in case you wanted to know what sort of stocks we've got of each material, then here you go. So stone, which is one that we're trying to ramp up here, we've got quite a bit of now. So we've got a full double chest and now this. In terms of diorite, we've got almost a full double chest. We're 2 rows away. And then granite, we've got half of a double chest. Oh, diorite there, we've got another little bit to put in. And then in terms of cobble, we've got tons of it. All of those double chests are full, and this one is on its way to being full. And then andesite we're lacking slightly on, but that's because we use it quite often. So that's how we're looking in the deep storage system. Aside from that, we've got nothing else to deposit. I've been super lazy and haven't deposited the stuff that we got from our mining session in the last episode, but don't worry, I will get that done. Anyway, you guys, I think it's about time we get some of those cells built. Okay, so there are 4 more cells up and running now. Of course, they don't have the quartz and the glass in place yet, but we'll come back and do that at the end of today's episode. Or not the end, but later on, I should say. So right now we need to craft a few more sticky pistons. So why don't we head back over to the small storage area where we keep the majority of our materials that we are going to be using right now. And we can throw together a few of those, create some pistons, and then add the slime on top to give it the stickiness. So here we go. So we should have some iron there. Yep, perfect. So let's use all of that. We have enough redstone there as well. We're going to need a bit of wood. So we'll grab the birch because we don't really need it. So let's throw all of that into planks. Then we can go ahead, construct 10. Here, we'll just try and make 14 because I can always store them away if we don't end up using them. So let's grab ourselves some more wood here. So that's 1 oak plank. That's another one right there. And then we need 3, 6, 9 more wood. So 4, 8, and then a piece right there as well. So that should be enough materials to finish this up. Here we go. And another one. Perfect. Okay, so now we can throw on the slime balls. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and notice that we are starting to pick up some stock here, which is good. Then we can just go 1 and 2 and craft. Okay, so let me get the rest of those cells complete. It wasn't just sticky pistons on our need list, we also need a few dispensers, so 4 in total to be exact. So we've come down to the skeleton farm to grab a few bows so that we can go ahead and craft those up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then throw the bows in to craft the dispensers. Very easy. And this is another good use of the skeleton farm. If you didn't just see correctly, still have a bunch of stuff in there for use when we require it. And of course, when I come down here to repair the picks later on this episode or on another day, we will get a bunch more. So it's definitely a useful item to have. Take a look, you guys. All of the cells are complete. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. One cell for each color of wall. So before we go ahead and place the glass in, I do want to get the quartz blocks in. So I've crafted up 32 blocks. That should be exactly enough to get all of this filled in exactly the same way that we filled these in. So here we go. Just placing 2 quartz blocks either side of the grass. 1, 2, 1, 2. And we also need to come up with a place to basically have our cart sit and wait and do the unloading process. I'm thinking we could either stick it here or maybe over here behind this wall. That would be tough actually because I keep forgetting about the cactus farm, so maybe this would be best. But as I say, we're going to have to come up with somewhere to unload the carts once they've done their collection run, which could be difficult because we didn't actually factor that into the room. So maybe we could even go ahead and do it at the back where we have a bunch of space. But for now, we don't need to particularly worry about that because of course that isn't a concern at the moment. But this is what things are looking like right now. Let's go and dye that glass. Alright you guys, so we're actually using the elytra wings for once, and we have found ourselves in a jungle biome, and you might have guessed the reason for that, and if not, the reason is that we need some cocoa beans. So the brown dye is only available through cocoa beans, I believe, so we're going to need to grab some of those, and that should be enough, to be honest. I mean, it was a long old trip, but we didn't actually need to grab anything that substantial. So 3 cocoa beans should be enough, and okay, maybe you just use them directly to craft the dye. I'm still kind of unsure, but we're getting together all of the glass and all of the dyes that we're going to need to set up our farms. So I guess it's time to fly back to the base. Whew. Okay, so we made it back from the jungle, and we have a slimy little friend over here, which I didn't notice until I started recording. And we have all of our glass prepped and ready to go. So here, let's just move these down. They're in the correct order at the moment. We can go ahead and just place them in. So the yellow goes here. Then we move on to lime. Then pink. And finally grey. Okay, so that's those colors dealt with. Now we can do the second group of 4 colors. So here we have brown, green, red, and black. We're going to go over to this side of the farm. Starting from left to right, go brown. There we go. Green. There we go. Red. There we go. And finally, black. Okay, so every single piece of glass is in the farm now. Where did our slime go? He was with us just a second ago. Oh, he fell down the hole. Poor guy. Anyway, that's besides the point. All of the glass is in place now. But of course, these cells still don't really have a particular design. They just have a facade at the moment, a front. So we are going to need to think up a back-end design for these farms, for these mini cells, I should say, so that we can kind of encapsulate the redstone and not have too much of it on display. Of course, it doesn't matter if we have a little bit of it on display, because sometimes it's kind of cool to see the redstone and see it in action and all that good stuff, because the pistons here at the back do move the observers, so it does have functionality and movement and that sort of thing. So if some of it is exposed, I'm not too disappointed, but we do need to think of a way to hide as much of it as possible and just round off the look of these cells. So give me a second here to think up something, or come up with something, I should say. I'll get it built, and then we can come and check it out together. Okay, you guys, so excuse the ghast making a bunch of noise in the background. Oh dear. Oh dear. Time to run. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, this is scary. I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked here. We're gonna head over here for a second. Oh, there he is. If we go down here, hopefully we can get out of his line of sight for a second so that I can talk to you guys. There we go. Okay, so I figured we might be using a bit more nether quartz and quartz block for this build. So here is a quick time lapse of me mining some quartz in the nether. Okay, you guys, so the time lapse is now over, as you can tell. Didn't really need to state that, did I? Afterwards, after the completion of the time lapse, we have managed to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stacks and 57 pieces. We do have a little bit left over in our storage system, but I thought we'd just top our supplies up for this build because we're going to need quite a bit anyway. So let's just craft a few of these into blocks. I think we'll do a stack at the moment. So we got a little bit more there just to increase the supplies if needs be. So let me get those designs up and running. I have a choice to make. I'm just going to grab some of these and some of those before we head back over to the sheep farm. So I kind of just want to run through this with you guys on camera so that you can see the sort of processes that I go through when I'm designing something. I'm talking like this design is complex. It's not complex at all. It's very, very basic. But, you know, we still want things to look as good as possible around here. So why not put a bit of effort into it? So far, this is what we've got. Obviously, nothing too special, really. We could go ahead, first of all, and implement a couple of different stone brick textures in here. I think that would be good. So let's go ahead and wipe a few of these out. And then bring in the cracked and the mossy. We can go ahead and put a couple mossy in like that. Cracked in there, mossy in there, another cracked in there. That looks good, just to give it some variety. We could even do the same here, really. So let's put a cracked in there, I guess. And then we'll go with a mossy in there. And then we'll just go with a regular stone brick in the middle. Just to mix it up a little bit. There we go. So I think that looks good. It's always nice to have a few varied textures in a build. Do we have stone brick all the way around? We do. So we got the slabs all the way around, like so. So I'm thinking either they're stone bars or dark oak fences. So what's going to look the best here? If we go with fences, it's going to look like that. Let's just do, we could do that. Or iron fence or iron bars. What are they actually called? Iron bars. They are going to look like this. So I guess it's out of those two, really. I kind of like the iron bars, actually. The fences don't look so bad. How about if we do a double layer of those like that? Oops, didn't want to fall down here, really, did I? Let's get out. Okay, so yeah, I definitely think the iron bars are going to look better. So if we go ahead and iron bar this all the way around, get our axe out to get rid of those fences. There we go. And then throw the iron bars in there like so. Is that the kind of look we want to go for? Kind of a cage. Cage for our animals, you know? Yeah, I guess that doesn't look too bad. Or does it? I don't know, really. It's hard to say. I don't really like how the textures join to the blocks like that. That really irritates me. For some reason, I just don't like it. But you know what? I think, all in all, doesn't look too bad. The room isn't going to look very friendly, though, if we have a lot of iron bars all over the place. It's going to look more like a prison than a sheep farm. So maybe for now we'll just tear it out, because I'm still kind of undecided, honestly. Sometimes it's hard for me because I'm a bit of a, not perfectionist, but I like things to all look good. So, for example, when we went ahead and did the cactus farm and I felt like it didn't look great, it's kind of annoying because then I feel obliged to go ahead and change it. So I want to make sure we get it right first time here. And of course, we still have to put the rails in anyway before we go ahead and finish up any of the design work, because we don't want to make that more difficult for ourselves by, you know, having the designs in place and having to try and work around them. So I think the best thing to do would just be to get every cell in this sort of situation where it's kind of a shell, and then we can run the tracks through with the minecart that's going to collect all of the wool, and then finish up the designs after that is done. So I think before we close off the video for today, I will get a few more shells set up around these cells, and we can take a look at what that looks like once it's complete. Okay, I admit it. I'm officially stumped here with how to design these cells. So I threw a few wood ones together on the left hand side here, and I actually think that looks kind of cool. So now I'm caught up in two minds whether or not to go with stone, because stone is making this room look a bit brutalist. And you know, it's meant to be a farm. I kind of don't want it to look that way. So maybe wood is the way to go. It's more of a traditional barn material. So possibly we go with wood instead. I think it makes a bit more sense in the long run. So yeah, I think we'll probably go with wood. But you know, I'm going to leave that for another episode because we're running out of time today. And I think we've got more than enough done. You know, all of this digging, the rest of the cells are in place. So I think we can call it a day for this one. So I do hope that you enjoyed what you saw today, you guys. The sheep farm is on its way to becoming something pretty cool. So I definitely had fun today getting a bit more work done here. If you did like it, then why not reciprocate that with a like down below? That will definitely help the channel out. And it also allows me to gauge the sort of reaction that I'm getting from my videos. If you have anything to say, any questions, any feedback, or any comments in general, including suggestions, then go ahead down in the comments below, leave anything that you'd like me to read and respond to. And finally, if you're new around here, then why not subscribe? It's free after all, so go ahead and do it, and that will allow you to stay up to date with this series and everything else I decide to post on the channel. So, excuse me, I choke again on the outro, I'm so sorry. So, as I was saying, thank you very much for watching. It was a pleasure making this video for you. Take care of yourselves, take care of your families. I'm out. See you in the next one. Bye bye.